Hello and welcome to another episode of Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan Steele and I will be your nerd today and any other day that you choose to watch my weird show content, TikTok, Facebook, memories, whatever. Hey, how's it going? I know it's been 2 weeks, so thank you for giving me a week off and not giving me too much grief because I had a nice Thanksgiving with my family. I cooked a goose for the first time. I've never cooked goose before. It cooks faster than a turkey. I was surprised. And the flavor was good. Everything turned out right, as far as that goes. I was surprised. The skin on a goose, it does not. It doesn't brine and crisp the same way that like a turkey skin does. This one, it was very tough. But just the skin, the meat and everything was fine. But it was like it was an interesting process. I'm glad that I've done it. I probably won't do it again unless it's something special. But it is a very similar meat to duck. I know that's shocking, as that they're kind of the neighbors in the fowl family. It was good. It was a good time. We had the kids this year for Thanksgiving, and that was very helpful. We also had my nephew-in-law, little Quinn, who we were celebrating his 3rd birthday at the same time. So there was a cake instead of pie, and then I made some marshmallow treats out of Fruit Loop cereal. Super good. It was a good time. We had a good time. Part of why we were doing the birthday at the same time is because my sister-in-law is moving to go be with her husband elsewhere, and they are moving like this upcoming weekend. So it was kind of our I want to say our last big family get together, but it was our last big family get together with them being local. So that was a little bittersweet. There's a couple moments where I could see that my mother-in-law was having kind of a hard time with it, and there was times we had to remind our 13-year-olds that hey, this is about this is yeah, it's Thanksgiving, but this is also about them. Let's focus on them, which that's really hard to tell a teenager. By the way, if you are unaware, difficult. To say anything is not about them. So let's now that we got that through, and thank you for giving me that week off. Let's roll into the week in Bryan. Let's start with gaming. Gaming's easy. I got to play in the we got to play in the Curse of Strahd game, which we are fighting a whole bunch of werewolves and wolves and things. But but aside from combat and stuff, I'm gonna shine for just a moment. Our last session, we spent probably an hour out of the session debating on whether or not we should do the right thing. People were like, "Oh, we can't split the party up. Let's not go do this thing. It's only going to take a couple hours, as opposed to possibly weeks." And my character stuck to his guns and was like, "No, we have to do this." We had the opportunity to set a haunted ghost, a tortured soul, free into its peaceful afterlife, or chase down some people that had gone missing for like a week or more before. And for whatever reason, half the party was just, we should go after take care of the living before we take care of the dead, and And it's like, you know what, this is going to be an easy sell. I knew that it was. I felt it in my bones that we were going to be able to take care of this, and get the beneficial of taking care of a tortured soul in Ravenloft of all places. Huge karmic swing. And they were fighting me on it. They were like, "Well, that ghost has been tortured for a couple hundred years. What's a few extra days?" And it really bothered my character, almost to the point where I did what I say never to do. Is I almost just went on my own, grabbed the asset involved, and I'm being vague in case someone hasn't played Curse of Strahd, by the way. Grabbed the asset involved and took off and took care of business, and been like, whatever, Sorry about your luck that you guys were, not wanting to do not take care of the dead, even though, they. Why would we take care of this ghost? He's never done anything for us. Well, because he's trying to help us. But we finally debated it, and we debated it, and we debated it, and at some point, the naysayers were like, "Fine, whatever, let's just go do this." I think they just got tired of arguing with us. And we take care of it. The ghost is set free. We get this awesome moment of of catharsis, of we've done in Ravenloft, good does not persist. It's the hardest thing to be a good soul in Ravenloft, and we did an amazingly good thing. We broke a curse, we undid a haunting, we put a tortured soul at rest, and we gained a level. Despite the fact that we had already, the person who's running this is basically is milestone leveling, but based off of success on quests. And so this thing that we actually had no fighting, no skill rolling, nothing like that. It was just basically making the right decision, doing the right thing, and solving the problem. We leveled. And of course, as soon as it happened, everybody in the party that just 2 weeks ago was like, we need to take care of the living before the dead. Who cares what with this ghost? He's been tortured for too long anyway. It doesn't matter. And now they're like, "Oh, look at we did the good thing. Oh man, I'm glad that worked out the way it was supposed to." And it's like, no. You don't get to sit there and be like, "Man, super glad that everything worked out the way that we thought it was going to." And it's like, no, it worked out the way that me and this guy thought it was going to. The rest of you wanted to go running off into a goose chase, but not because that was potentially saving the living, as opposed to dealing with a tortured, centuries long tortured ghost, because he can wait a little while longer. No, you don't get to act like the fancy fans. "Oh, we did the greatest thing ever. I'm so glad that worked out." You're right. I am glad it worked out. And I kind of wish that there was a way to do selective bonuses, and the DM could say, "You know what? You guys, you had faith in this plan the whole time. Everyone else was begrudgingly drug along because you wanted to help this guy out. Here's your benefit." I wish that was something we could do. Because there's nothing more frustrating than when someone who's telling you over and over and over again, "It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. We shouldn't do it. I hate that we're doing this. Why do we have to do this?" And then when it works out and it's nothing but awesome, exactly the way that you planned it, they go, "What a great idea. I'm glad that we did this." Ooh. So then we were like, all right, well, we've taken care of what we wanted to take care of. Now let's go save these people that are probably already dead. And so we ran off, we tracked them down, and we got to this place that, sure enough, is this gigantic multi-session combat ambush, grueling. People are probably going to die in this combat. So basically, everything that we said would happen happens, and now we're still doing this, we're still having the fight, and we're a level higher because of it. You're welcome. Sorry, I know I'm being catty about it, but that last session was really good roleplay. It was solid roleplay. But then as soon as we get this done, when they start basically going, "Oh well, I knew it all along. You did not." Let's see. We did we play Waking Realms last week? I don't remember if we did. I think the game. I thought the game got canceled because we didn't quite get it to. No, we played because we were in the Wizard's Tower, which turned out to be an interesting exploration. And the DM admitted something after the game, which I'm a firm believer that you don't ever show hold your cards to your chest when you're gaming. Don't give away the secrets of your magic. But apparently we're playing on Roll20 with D&D, and this particular session, the DM bought a set of Wizard's Tower maps from someone to use with Roll20, and basically told himself at the beginning, aside from monsters that he knew he wanted to put in the adventure, when it came to how the rooms were populated with furniture and items and things like that, rather than making big, long, huge, descriptions and things like that, he just basically was going exactly off of what was in the map, and it was kind of neat, because so we walked into this room and we'd be like, oh hey, there's a pig in a cage. What's up with that? He's like, nope, there's a pig in a cage, and then he turned this into plot stuff. That they were all magical creatures. Some were summoned. Some were. I have a feeling that at least one is a magical figurine that's turned into an animal. It's just it was a neat thing to. It was a neat thing to see him do. It was an interesting experiment, and it seems like it's worked. We played next week. We do not play this weekend in that particular game because I get to do. I'm actually a player in a traveling game. I get to head down to Indianapolis. I thought it was the game that I run, but I messed up my schedule. And it is a game that started before COVID, paused for COVID, and is now back in session. Where I play Sal Sobersbane, a drunken fist tavern brawler halfling. Basically, a halfling version of Brad Pitt's character from Snatch. But I have a lot of fun with the character. I play up the fact that he is he has lived at the bottom of a bottle most of his life. He does a lot of really silly things that when if this table is a very heavily role play based group, and if there was like a power gamer or a numbers gamer that sat at this table, they would roll their eyes at me so often because the things that I do and the things that I say are so far on the opposite end of power gamey that I think there are times where even some of my other roleplay heavy players at that game might get a little they might get a little upset, like one of those, oh come on, are you seriously wasting a turn doing this? That doesn't work, like that kind of thing. But it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with that game. It is in a homebrew world called Maniriath, that is run by my friend Albert. It's amazing. It's an amazing world. He's been building it for probably 30 years, at least 20 years. I've played it a couple of different versions. I played by an email version. I've played a couple of different in-person games. It's just a really solid, really solid world setting. And for the people who have played with Albert for a very long time, it's very neat because he does a lot of kind of callbacks to old sessions because he tries to play in different eras. So like that way you're not really crossing paths with your old characters, but you might cross paths with something that they've done, or maybe a magic item that they had or will have when their campaign future happens. It's neat. It's a very, very cool. It's a cool concept. It's what I wanted to do with Seventh Crown back in the day, and who knows? At some point, I may return to Seventh Crown. Right now, I don't think. To be completely honest, I think that there's some of the themes in Seventh Crown would not go over very well with today's generation of gamer. And I think that I need to wait for the wheel to turn a little bit on that, or make it more popular through short stories and novels and things. And then you can be forgiven for using some fantasy tropes that the current generation of gaming is not very accepting of as a plotline. All right, so that's pretty much my game. I'm playing a lot of video games, obviously. I think that's about it. Played a game of Llamas Unleashed last week with my son and my wife. It's a fun little card game based off of the Unstable Unicorns engine. It's just a lot of fun. And then we had Thanksgiving, and then back to the grind, which brings me to work. Work stuff has been, some painting commissions. I'm working on a commission of Malifaux, they're based in the Malifaux world. Weird Games put out a board game a few years ago called Puppet Wars, which is basically a single box skirmish style board game where you're playing puppet versions of some of the Malifaux characters in the Malifaux world. It's an interesting game, but my buddy, my client, has had this for a while and basically was just like, you know what, I want to be able to pull out painted miniatures to play this game with my family over Christmas. And so he hired me to go ahead and paint it, and I'm almost done. They actually paint really fast. They're fun. They're neat little like voodoo doll style puppets. It's cool. It's a very neat process, and I'm glad I'm getting a chance to put brush to model on these guys. I've got some 40K stuff that I need to paint for a client too, but overall, painting commission wise, I'm kind of evened out at the moment because I'm way more focused on getting some writing and designing done. I am more than halfway through a big Transformers adventure arc book that I think is going to be a lot of fun when people get their hands on it. Actually, I'm a big fan of the Transformers game that we collectively created for Essence 20, and I think there's one way to run Transformers is to basically just be like, ignore the fact that you're these robots in disguise and just barrel through and just combat, and almost like the Transformers movies where they're just like, all right, we're robots, government might see us. If they do, they might come after us. Or play it more like the old cartoon where you go places where there's not a lot of people watching, but you still keep in mind that when you're going from point A to point B, you probably will stay in your alt mode. You're probably going to be driving or flying, depending on who you are. And I think this is a big one of those unwritten rules that people will learn very quickly based off of their game master is it's really cool to be like a Dinobot or a Predacon or an Insecticon or one of these where your alt mode is not a vehicle, where it's a monster or a robot or a different kind of robot, like an animal-based robot or a dinosaur or something like that. That's really cool, but part of the reason why the alt modes exist is to be able to blend in where you go. And being a dinosaur does not blend in. So yeah, you might get some cool benefits for being a Dinobot, and your alt mode being maybe tougher than your robot mode, but you have to remember that there's no real way for you to hide. There's no you can't just stand there being a robot Tyrannosaur and not expect the humans to go, "Mommy, Daddy, what is that?" Unlike even if you're a tank, even if you're like one of the tanks, yeah, someone might go, "Dude, I saw a tank off of Highway 2." You're not going to immediately, someone's not going to immediately jump online and Google, "Why was there a tank on that?" They might wonder, but they have a plausible question about it. Whereas if they see a giant robotic dinosaur or a pterodactyl flying across the sky, they're probably going to be like, "That's not normal." In this world where we know that aliens exist, we're being attacked. That kind of thing. But I digress. So when I get that done, I have a Power Rangers book to do next after that. And then I think I'm either returning to do some more Transformers stuff, or maybe a G.I. Joe book. I don't know. But basically, my next month or so is just slam writing Transformers, and then immediately into some Power Rangers stuff. So I'm excited. I had a really good meeting this week with the Power Rangers book that we're doing. I'm doing all of the design and rules stuff, and the attached adventure is being written by another writer. And he and I had a really, really good meeting earlier this week, talking about what we want to put in there, how we're going to solve a couple problems, what kind of cool, what kind of adventure it should be. It was a good meeting. I like having inspiring meetings rather than confining ones. And what that means is a meeting where basically you're told, "This is how it is. This is what you're doing. This is how you're doing it, and it's now 8:00. See you later. Thanks." I like meetings that are, "Let's talk about how to get this done. This is how it needs to end up. How do we want to get there?" Talking to the nature of the project, rather than the actual ones and zeros. It was a good meeting, solid meeting. Let's see, a couple of the cool things before I get into the sponsors. I finally got the TV taken care of. We actually sold the old TV and then used that money plus a little extra, and Black Friday'd us a new TV, so I actually can see the whole screen again. I don't know if I had mentioned it, but the LED was going out on my old TV, and it made playing certain video games and watching certain TV shows very difficult if you had any lights on in the room, because it was very dark on one side and bright on the other, and bleh. But we got that taken care of, so that's all taken care of. And most importantly, I'm going to get a little more into this down in a few minutes, but almost above and beyond any other things, I finally... We're not completely done on the closing, so the ink is not, I have not signature on page yet. But we are almost completely done taking care of all the stupid mortgage refinancing stuff that I have been fighting with for 6 months. So it's about time. I'll talk about that a little bit when I get into the meat of the subject. Let's talk about sponsors. Let's talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing from Armor Class 10, a Dungeon Master of the Universe. It's no secret, I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan, and to celebrate the release of Masters of the Universe Revelation 2, the second chapter hit Netflix early last week. To celebrate that, I wanted to show off one of the new Armor Class 10 t-shirt models, the Dungeon Master of the Universe. Yeah, so it's a gaming thing, it's a D&D thing, it's a He-Man thing. I figured it was covering all the bases. It's a great shirt. Armor Class 10 has amazing stuff. Their shirts hold up really well. They've got really good true sizing, as in like, unlike when you order sometimes from like Facebook or online, you're like, oh, I need a triple X, and you get this shirt at it, it's a triple X if you were 9, like they actually do good sizing. And the people who work there, if for some reason you get a t-shirt that's messed up, or the sizing screwy, or maybe the color stained weird or something like that, they are awesome people, and their customer service would take care of you in a heartbeat. And above and beyond all of that stuff, coming into Christmas time, if you've got geeky friends that want some cool nerd and nerd adjacent t-shirt stuff, order from them, but then make sure to follow the link in the description of the video, but then make sure to use my discount code TFAPN, TFAPN, Tales from a Professional Nerd. Use that discount code, and you get 10% off your order. So depending on how many shirts you order, that could be a huge discount. Or you could use it just basically to kind of eat up the shipping costs to get stuff sent to you and your friends. Whatever the case may be, use the code, order some shirts, let my sponsors know that you're listening and that you want to get some cool stuff based off of the fact that I've told you that their stuff is cool. Let's see. Also going into one of my other sponsors, speaking of the TFAPN discount code, sovereignty.com. Again, the address for it is in the description of the video. It is a tabletop board game simulator, or emulator, engine, whatever. Translation: you get to use your computer to play video games, or to play board games with other people across the world. You just go to sovereignty.com, you set yourself up an account. Free accounts have access to basically like the game of the day, and some limited software, and some like limited profile picks and things like that. Or you can, I want to say it's $3.99 a month for platinum access. And then you have access to all the games, all the gadgets, all the toys, all the stuff. And right now, you can use a promotional code of TFAPN, T-F-A-P-N, to get 60 days free platinum service. And there's no contract or anything like that, so if you, after those 60 days, you're like, I really don't want this anymore, you just cancel your account so you don't get charged. Easy peasy. But you should totally take a look at it. I know they've got some solo mode games, so even if like you're not wanting to set up a full game or wait for strangers to play with, you could still play these games on your own, basically, versus like the AI of the game itself. Totally worth it, totally rad. You should absolutely check them out, and make sure you use the discount code, not only because it lets my sponsors know that people are listening, but it gets you 60 days of platinum service for free, so why would you not? And then my third sponsor, my hobby sponsor, Turbo Dorks. The Turbo Dork, the Turbo Dork paint and some apparel. They are running some Christmas specials right now. But also, personally, I think that it is one of the best things to do for someone who, they're a gamer, they're a hobbyist, but you don't necessarily know what to get them. And here's the thing, is hobbyists, we have our own, like, there's a particular set of brushes that I like. There's a particular kind of paints that I like. Depending on my army that I paint, there's a palette that I use. Rather than just going on a shopping spree and then buying them a bunch of stuff that they don't want, go to turbodark.com and get them a gift card. I know a lot of people are like, man, gift cards are lame. They take no thought. When it comes to hobby supplies, that is a very thoughtful gift, because you don't know what that hobbyist, what that artist might want. They do. All you're doing is basically saying, hey, Turbo Dork has awesome stuff. Please get what you want, what you'll use, what you would like at your hobby table. So that's absolutely swing over past Turbo Dork, buy some gift cards for your friends. If you are a hobbyist, buy some stuff for yourself while you're at it. Whatever. But then make sure when you fill out the order, there's always that special information at the end. Let them know that I sent you. Again, I can't say it enough. I love my sponsors. I love what they represent. I just want to make sure that you guys show them the love too, and let them know that, hey, I'm preaching their goods and letting people know how awesome they are. All right. Let's talk about Geek Thanksgiving, Nerdsgiving, if you will. So Thanksgiving was last week, and we are officially into December, so we're starting to roll into the Christmas season, the holiday season. I should be more open about that. It's a time that I generally do a lot of reflecting, not like deep, like spiritual reflecting or anything like that, but it is a time for me to basically go, man, the year is almost over. We're rolling into a new year. What has happened? What has gone? What am I missing? What was the ups? What was the downs? Coffee isn't up. But I don't want to focus on the downs. One of the things that I am very specific, that I'm trying to stay when it comes to this channel, is I'm trying to stay on the positive side of things. I could get on here and I could, maybe my April Fool's Day video might be me going on a complaint rant. Who knows? But I want to try and stay positive. I want to try and stay on the right side of things, and focusing on the good stuff in my industry, the good stuff in my life, the good stuff in my career. And so I wanted to take today to basically go through and give you five things that Bryan is thankful for this year. And then a runner-up. It'll be a runner-up and then 5 things. The runner-up ties to number 5, so that's why I'm saying it that way. But yeah, basically, I just want to run down and just let people know some things that I'm thankful for. What I've been through this year, and what has been some bright lights. The honorable mention is the people who have, the fans out there that have dipped into their own lives and their own finances and their own life to help me out as a channel, to help me out as a person, to donate to my wife's medical GoFundMe. I'm thankful for any support that I get, whether it's someone goes to on my Amazon wish list, link in the description, and buys me a vat of resin for my 3D printer, or I've gotten some very cool stuff. I've gotten models sent to me. I've gotten a couple of brushes. Basically, it's anything that helps me stay focused on my spot in the industry. I'm very thankful for. But anything, when one of you guys out there takes it upon yourself to click on that GoFundMe link and help out my wife, who aside from the one time that she's been on the show as an interview over a year ago, you have opened your hearts and to be funny, your wallets, to help her out in her time of need. And that's just because of her attachment to me and the fact that you guys are good people. So thank you. I am thankful for anybody who bridges that digital gap with any kind of generosity. So again, thank you very much. Bringing me, kind of bridging into number 5. Number 5 is I'm thankful for my 3D printer. One amazing fan, I'm not going to name you, but you know who you are, reached into their personal stores of wealth and purchased an Anycubic mono, photo mono, there you go, resin printer for me. And I had originally had said that, you know, I was mad that there are these amazing models that you see, these amazing models and terrain pieces and things like that you see online, on Facebook, on Kickstarter, that if you don't have a 3D printer, you don't have access to it, and that sucks. You know, it's like, because I see these models, I'm like, man, I want that model, or man, I want that dice tower, or man, I want that piece of terrain. And you don't get a chance, you know, if you don't have this expensive piece of machinery. Well, and that one particular fan heard my call, heard my frustration, and took it upon themselves to send me that printer. So my thanks goes out to that special fan. But also, I am thankful for the printer itself, because it has allowed me to do one big thing. Through the Loot membership service. It's a monthly service that basically they send you very, very high-end, amazing STLs for your printers. Through them, I have been able to expand my role-playing game miniature collection infinitely. I have an entire... We cleaned out a china cabinet of, like, cookbooks and china, and I'm now using it to hold terrain, to hold these models that I'm getting put together and painted. But it also it inspired me to run a extremely visual D&D campaign, where I'm making, you know, when I see these, similar to what I was talking about with the Waking Realms game, where he had this map and he goes, I'm gonna build my encounters and stuff based off of what these maps are. I'm building a story and building in a campaign and building encounters and things off of the models that I'm able to create, the terrain I'm able to create. And so combining those things with my painting skills, it's a very visual game. And I know at least one of the members listens to this show, so I'm not going to spoil it, but I did just finish painting up a host full of models for one particular scene that I think, when it happens, I'm probably going to need to take a picture and show you guys. Not because I'm like super proud of the paint jobs. I am. They're good paint jobs. But I've wanted to do a scene like this for a long time, but it always felt like almost a waste of certain assets to paint them a certain way and things like that. So again, I need to stay vague because the encounter hasn't happened, but when it happens, I will let you guys know, and I'll show you pictures and stuff. So yeah, that's my number 5. I'm just very thankful for this 3D printer. It's a neat part of the hobby. It does open up some sadness in me, because I see on some of the Facebook groups and some of the websites that I go to try and find people sharing their own STLs that they've created, things like that. I see a lot of piracy. I see a lot of, oh hey, I scanned this model, and why pay $30 for it when you can print one for yourself? That bothers me. It is something that I wish that the 3D printing aspect of the industry, I wish there was a better way for them to enforce that, or keep people from scanning things. I don't know. One of my more jaded friends is like, that's just the nature of the industry. People are gonna steal that stuff. Technology gets better. There's got to be ways around it, aside from hoping that people are good people and will actually pay to support the companies that they are buying games from. Shock and awe. It is what it is. Number 4. Number 4 goes back to something I said earlier. I am thankful for my new mortgage loan agent, Erica. she's not going to see this. She is not a gamer in any stretch of the imagination. Or she is, and she's a hidden gamer and I didn't know it. But she doesn't know anything about this YouTube channel that I'm aware of. And I started talking about refinancing my house to pay off a whole bunch of like debts and things. Way back in like June. And my first mortgage officer guy basically was like, you're self-employed, you got to take care of a few things before I can do this. And then by the time that I got those things taken care of, he had fallen off the face of the world. So I had got another loan officer named Christy. And Christy was efficient. Utterly unhelpful, but efficient. She let me know exactly what I needed to do, and when I did that stuff, that I needed to, here's the next loop, here's the next loop, here's the next thing, which was really cool, except she really was very unhelpful when it came to realizing that I'm a special case. I'm self-employed, but I have a steady source of income. I file my taxes jointly, but my wife currently doesn't work because she's, medically disabled aside from her art. I've got my own business who I pay my wife through. It's a hard concept. It's a very difficult thing. I am a divorced man with a child. There's child support involved. It's just a lot of stuff going on. Then you throw in COVID, and basically the new rules and things. Christy was, again, very nice, very knowledgeable, and very efficient. Just 0% help when it came to trying to get this done for me, and it ended up with her basically telling me that, and if you're a freelancer out there, keep this in mind when it comes to your credit rating for mortgages and things like that, is because so much of my life is dedicated to gaming and my industry, I'm able to write off tax-wise a lot of stuff. For my international viewers, tax law in the U.S. is wonky, to say the least. And I spent a lot of year keeping receipts, things like that, in order so when it gets to the end, tax time, I can write off a bunch of taxes, because these are things that had to do with my business. Well, new laws in place, that hurts when it comes to trying to deal with a mortgage, when it comes to trying to work your, income versus debt, equity, blah, 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 blah. Bank stuff. And eventually Christy gave me a financial ultimatum and was like, you need to either choose when you do your taxes to pay extra taxes and not write off the things that you're legally allowed to write off, or we can do this and do the refi, or we don't get to do the refinance and you get to pay less taxes. Your call. And that's really not much of a thing, It's like, I know that I've done this before. I know that I'm capable. I know that we have all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted. Why isn't this working? And it really just it came down to the fact that my loan agent through my bank had so much business and so many accounts and all of these things. I was just numbers on a page, and there was not really any help that she wanted to give. Or maybe her particular company was so large she couldn't. Who knew? What what ended up doing is that I took all that information and I put it to a local chain. Apparently they are a bigger chain than I thought they were, but they're a local office. And I got hooked up with a loan officer named Erica, and she's amazing. Not only did she help me get through everything, but there were extra forms and extra steps and things that she could do with her underwriting team specifically for me. And as of early this week, we're not done. The ink's not dry, but thankfully Erica went the extra mile for me and got it taken care of. And I'm going to be moving into 2022 with vastly, vastly better circumstances to hopefully start making some serious financial like adjustments and things to my household and my lifestyle. Um, I'm not saying like I'm going to go out and buy a Porsche by no stretch of the imagination. What I'm saying is I'm going to be able to take care of a lot of that old school debt that I've been hanging on to for a long time. I'm going to be able to hopefully take some bigger chunks out of those medical bills that we've got the GoFundMe for. Just it's going to be hopefully you will see a lot of stress coming off of Bryan and the pounds. I forgot to say, I as of last week, even with Thanksgiving, the stall out from Thanksgiving and all that great food, I'm still sitting at 41 pounds lost. So I'm gonna keep it up. I would love to eventually get below a certain number. I don't know if I ever will, but I'm gonna keep trying. It's not hurting me now. I'm not like trying to stab people over sugar cubes. We'll see what's going on. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling healthy. Hopefully you guys might notice I'm looking better. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just excited. But yeah, so number 4, I am thankful for my loan agent, Erica. She has really, really, really helped just take giant piles of stress off my shoulders. The third thing I am thankful for this year are my gaming groups. I've got playtesters, I've got online gaming groups, I've got in-person gaming groups, I've got multiple different groups that I game with that have like a Venn diagram of me and a couple of other assets that overlap. I've got miniature gaming groups that I game with, and now I've also got maybe some people that I play Magic the Gathering with my son, and I played at conventions. I am a gamer through and through on the creation side of things as well as the utility side of things. And in a world that constantly reminds me that I'm getting older, constantly reminds me that my kids are getting older, and that the world outside my home sometimes is a dangerous and scary place. I need that release. I need that excursion into fake worlds. And even if it's just for a couple of hours a week, I need to be able to set aside deadlines and stress and money and illness and everything else, and just enjoy life for a little while. Because if you don't, you let yourself go. And eventually that darkness, that gloom and doom will consume you. So I am very thankful for my various gaming groups, and the games in which I'm able to play, because I need that. I really do. I know that sounds weird and shallow, but I need it. I need to be able to escape from the rigors of real life and being being the adult sometimes. Number 2, I am thankful for Renegade Games, and most notably my esteemed boss lady. She hates it when I call her my boss, but she is, Elisa Teague. Technically it started at the end of 2020, but this whole year I have been working steadily with Renegade Games on their Essence 20 system, and I did a little thing for a board game, and there's some talks about some other stuff in the future, but without Renegade Games, specifically without Elisa reached out to me and asked me to be part of this team. I did not know Elisa very well. We have the industry is extremely incestuous. We all know each other through it's like how many degrees of separation are you from Matt Forbeck? How many degrees of separation are you from Matt Mercer? There's there's that aspect of things. How did you meet Jordan Wiseman? Like these are the things that we all connect to. And so I know that we've been at the same parties together. I knew I had met her once before through Ross. But overall, all I really knew her for was her work, and she's been in the industry a long time, and she's done a lot of really, really amazing things. And when she reached out and asked if I wanted to be part of the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers role-playing game creation, I won't lie. I had no idea. I still don't know how she found me. Maybe, hopefully by reputation. Maybe we had a common friend that she was like, "Hey, you need to check this guy out." I don't know, but she asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. I obviously said yes, and my last year has been so much better because of it. Not only financially, and I don't always want to keep going back to money, but a lot of my stress and a lot of my problems come from, when this bill can't get paid, or I'm going to be late on this, or it is the nature of the freelancer, and having a steady source of good income like Renegade has been a godsend. And also getting to meet a bunch of new people through the team, making new friends, people who I will consider these people. They're not just colleagues, they are friends. TJ Storm, getting to write the Power Rangers book with him and Elisa. I have a friend now that is a Hollywood stuntman. It's so cool. He played Godzilla. That's getting to work with him, and knowing that if I really wanted to, I could call him up and go, "Hey, I really just kind of want to talk to you about some stuff." And if he's not crazy busy, because he is a a working person in the industry, we could sit down and have a conversation that's not necessarily like work enforced. Getting to know Ben and Paige and Ryan Costello from the G.I. Joe part of the Essence 20 team. Such amazing people. I mean, it's just, I can't tell you the cool people that I've met. Trivia Fox, who is Elisa's right-hand person. Amazing. I did not know them before, and now we chat online about work stuff, obviously, but also random other weird things. And then the cherry on the top of this is, of course, getting to know Elisa herself. And I would call her a friend. I have told her things that I have not told other colleagues. I really, really wish that we lived closer to one another so we could potentially spend more time that isn't, at conventions and such, or digitally. She's really good people. She had a really, really hard last couple of years, and the part of me that wants to try and help and make some of that pain. You can't make pain go away, but you can at least make it less front and center. These are the things that I'm just very thankful that Elisa has become part of my life, both professionally and personally. If you ever get an opportunity to kind of be part of her presence, or play in one of her games at a convention, I'm really hoping that I get to play. She is doing a celebrity DM on Satine's cruise in May, and Natalie and I we've actually made the decision we are going to go and finally take our extremely estranged honeymoon by doing this D&D cruise. And I hope that we get to sit at a table with Elisa, not only because I want to show off my role-playing skills, but I want to experience how she runs a table. if that makes any sense. I don't know. I'm running off. But yeah, number 2 is easily Elisa Teague and Renegade Games. I'm very, very thankful for, and hopefully will continue to be thankful for years to come. While I am not staff at Renegade, maybe that'll change, but I do think of myself as part of their team. When I see news that comes out about products that they've got and things like that, I often use we, when I'm not part of that particular aspect of the team. It's just they're a really cool company to work for, and Elisa is an amazing supervisor. She works too hard, but we all do. When you love what you do, you sometimes throw yourself into it even deeper, and Elisa is a lot. I think she's older than me, but not by much. Like maybe like a year or two, maybe. We are cut from the same cloth when it comes to this industry. We give and we give and we give, and someone asks and we say, yeah, we'll find a way to do it. It is because we love gaming, because we love what we do, and we love the people that we do it for and with. It is so much easier to get through a giant pile of stuff. That's my dog scratching at the door. Hopefully that will stop. Sorry about that. I'm not ignoring knocking, it's just my dog. And then my last thing that I am thankful for, and this is, some people will be like, cop out, but my family, my extended family, and I'm gonna say extended family as I don't mean like third cousins or anything like that. I mean the family that I live with, the family that I don't share blood with, my friends, the people that my online family, my convention family, basically all of the connections that I have, whether it's the nights that I get to spend reading webcomics with my son, or playing Minecraft with my stepkid, or sitting around and watching TV with my wife while she is drawing amazing art, and I am possibly fighting sleep because I've been up working since 7 in the morning. All of these things. My mother. Everyone knows I am a mama's boy, always have been. But there are aspects of my life that I would have failed. Not could have failed, not might have failed, not man, it was hard without her. As in, I would not have made it without her and her assistance. That goes without saying. Without my mother's support, without and my stepfather as well. Basically that without their support, I would not have been able to get where I am. And I will never forget that. I will always hold that near and dear to me, and that is one of the things I am thankful for, is the connections that I have made through friends and family, the people who I know I can count on in my dark times, the lights at the end of the tunnel. That is who I am most thankful for, what I am most thankful for, because I'm human. Or am I? No, I'm human, and I have depression at times. I sink into a dark funk sometimes. I run into bad things sometimes. When that happens, sometimes it's hard for me to pull myself out, and it's through my family. It's through the blood that I choose to share. It's through them that I find my way out, and that's what I'm most thankful for, is the family and friends support structure that I have, even if they don't know, even if we argue, even if they are 13 and you want to send them to the bottom of the ocean for a short amount of time. I'm still thankful for them because it's all part of the process, and I know in a couple of years they'll get through it, they'll get past it, they'll go back, and they'll eventually. I hope to have the same kind of relationships that I have with my sister and my mom and my closest friends. I hope to maybe one day have those sorts of things with my kids, with new friends. I want my wife to be able to do her art full time without having to worry about it being for a paycheck. I want her to find a way to not be stressed out constantly because of her medical bills and medical condition. And I'm hoping that through my positivity and through their connection and their Venn diagram that shares me, that we might be able to reach that point. And that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for the chance to hopefully be the hub that everyone needs to find their light space. So there we are. One last thing before we go. It's December, which means there was a November raffle, comment raffle. So if you commented on any of the November videos, you had a pip put in the pool, and then I drew a name out of the pips. Speaking of which, if you do multiple comments, you get multiple pips. So if there's like conversations that happen, you go back and forth commenting, more pips. I still haven't heard back from Cormac from the October raffle to send him or her. I guess I don't know. Cormac could be could be female, or a they. Ooh. I haven't sent them their care package yet, their raffle winnings, because they have not responded to my response to let me know how to send this to them. So if you watch this, Cormac, please text me, email me, let me know so I can send this stuff to you, because you won in October. And so now the November comment raffle is Rich Warner, based off of his comment on episode 119. So Rich, I'm going to comment on that comment and get your address and send you the November comment raffle. And now that it's December, you know what that means. New comment raffle. So start making comments. Make sure you share and like and subscribe. Share. Tell people to watch this show. And I'm not trying to be like, I need subscribers. What I am saying is, I think some of the message of this show and some of these episodes, especially some of the past episodes, could really be helpful for some of your friends out there, and also get you guys something to talk about. Why not? Maybe you can sit down and we can all watch together. That's weird. But whatever you do, please be safe, get vaccinated, get a booster if you can, wear a mask in places where you need to wear a mask, enjoy your life. I hope you had a good, had and are having a good holiday season. But more than anything, what I want you to do is go out there, have a good time, and play some games. We'll see you next week.